and I'm not for sure if we're there or not. Let's see.
There's a little live on the corner, on the upper corner.
Yep, looks
with
like
the time
we're
ticking
good
down.
to go.
Oh, there's that puppy.
Okay, so I am definitely going to close that feed out. Sorry, can't hear myself again. So, are you live there as well? Can you close your window? Not your window, but just close to whatever you were watching us on, so we don't get a back feed. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris from Roasters Marketplace. Tonight's our first episode of Meet the Roaster. And technically, we're not meeting the actual roaster. We're meeting with Abby tonight. She's live from where are you at in Guatemala?
I am coming at you from Antigua, Guatemala.
Awesome. So if we have some technical difficulties here on her
My bad.
end, we are streaming live from 2 different countries, which is amazing. So to jump right into things, Abby, tell us a little bit about Chica Bean, please.
Right. So I am a partner in a little coffee startup that we've called Chica Bean. Chica Bean was based on the belief that we can be changing basically the way that the world drinks coffee through empowering women. So we work with only female producers. All of our producers are from a community, well, actually 2 communities in Jalapa, Guatemala. We buy directly from them. We've been working with them. Well, in total, my partners and I have over 10 years of working with these women in this community. My partner, Evelyn, and her husband, they've really found a place in the community. Evelyn was a Peace Corps volunteer in 2008, I believe, so 2008 to 2010, in this community outside of Mataquesquintla in Jalapa. She, during her Peace Corps service, she met her husband, Josue. Josue, his mother is a coffee producer, but they're from a different community, a different part of Jalapa. And they ended up getting married. A couple years down the road, they really started about how they can start to affect or improve the industry. Most people don't realize that coffee is a very volatile market. Prices fluctuate up and down a lot. From the consumer end, usually we just kind of see that it's expensive and oh my gosh, I can't believe how expensive coffee is. But from a producing end, they get paid so little that most farms don't even recuperate what they cost in maintaining and producing the coffee. So there's this huge gap. So Aileen and Josue about 6 years ago recognized this gap, decided they was thinking about throwing in the towel, leaving the game, but they couldn't let her do that. It was such an important part of her being. She was proud of this. This is a fierce woman, and just because it didn't make sense that even though she's growing incredibly good quality coffee, that she's throwing in the towel because she's not making any money. When they decided this, they're like, we can hook these other women from the community in Mataquesquintla and just start helping a bunch of people. So we focus with women. We also, so that's the producer level. We take it to the next step and we also process and roast. So we work with a female roaster from the community where our tostaderia or our roastery is. And almost all of the company, we are strong women, except for Josue, who's our Chico of Chica Bean. And so now we're just focusing on eliminating all of these excess stops in the coffee value chain and connecting people who love coffee around the world directly to the people, specifically the women who produce it.
Awesome. So I'm going to back you up just a few minutes and focus really on one of these things. And we really focus on at Roasters Marketplace of really getting roasters who are getting their coffee as close to direct as possible. And you don't get any more direct than the people who are actually growing it and roasting it in a coffee producing country, which is awesome. So typically, what price would a farmer get if they were selling it to an organization that was going to have to change hands 15 times before it got to me as a consumer?
Well, we can talk about the C price. So that international market price today, and actually this year, it's been relatively high. So today it ended at $1.24 per pound. So, like I said, that's high,
right?
If you can believe that.
A short time ago, we were talking about between 40 and 80 cents. It fluctuating, right?
Right, exactly. There's also something to think about whenever you hear a lot of companies talk about how much they pay for their green beans. They talk about FOB prices. So that's how much they pay to get this. This doesn't include transportation. This doesn't include many costs that a lot of times producers end up sinking or taking. So there's the FOB and the farm gate. Farm gate price in our community last year was 95 quetzales for 100 pounds of coffee. 95 quetzales. Oh, I just did this conversion earlier today. 95 times 7.5. No. 90 divided by 7.5. So that's about $12.50 for 100 pounds of coffee. And that's just fruit. Once you start talking about the coffee value chain and really paying attention to ensuring that where your coffee is coming from is as direct as possible, then you start to notice the 15 hands that it goes through. So if you're talking about a responsible roaster, a lot of them maybe $2, $2.25. But as people start to pay more attention, not only to the quality, but the responsibility, you see those prices are starting to go up. We did some research, and producers to create or to grow a pound of roasted coffee, or what becomes a pound of roasted coffee, producers usually spend about $1.97.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So we'll move up the process just a little bit. So once it's picked, and we're kind of jumping back and forth here, but we've kind of limited on time tonight.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll move up. Y'all pick it, process it, which way you're processing it. I know y'all have got some really good looking honey process stuff that I really hope to get a bag on this shipment coming up. Let's talk
coming at you on Friday.
I know that's why we're here. It's ticking down. The clock is ticking. So let's talk about your roaster.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
how is she the only female roaster in Guatemala that y'all know of?
She is definitely not the only female roaster. She is the only female roast master that we found. Okay. So there are definitely plenty of women who dabble, who maybe for quality control reasons, or they know how to roast, but a roast master means that she is the boss of the roasting facilities. Everything that roasts goes through her. She's the jefa. And so Evelyn, her name is Evelyn, and she has a beautiful story. Whenever Aileen and Josue were starting this project, she was actually their first son's nanny. And she was 16 years old whenever she started to nanny for them. They noticed that she just had an amazing talent with taste, with smell. She was an incredible cook. They were dabbling with this idea of opening a coffee roaster, and they didn't have a roaster. So they started talking to her, and before you know it, she goes from being their nanny to learning how to manhandle this 25-pound roaster. We have had an incredible amount of support in the coffee community in Guatemala, and we love doing activities together with different roasters, cafes, other producers. And the last time we had a roasting event, it was the coolest thing. We started with a cupping, and it was me, Evelyn, one other woman, and then a room full of men.
And this was it a couple days ago, the picture you texted me?
Oh no, that was actually with our producers. Okay. That's another level of awesomeness. This was just a roasting event, purely experience sharing. So after the cupping, they started setting up to roast, and I had some work to do. So I went up into the office part on the second level, and 30 minutes later, I could hear they were already roasting. So I came down the stairs, and when I did, I noticed that there was just this circle of men, and in the middle was this little Guatemalan woman just manhandling, just working this giant roaster, and you could see the confidence. I mean, she doesn't speak too much unless she's spoken to. She's not someone to give her opinion unless asked. She's rather quiet. But even though she is pretty self-taught, she has very little formal education, her confidence as she was doing her job and literally surrounded by men critiquing her and ask, and you did this to the airflow because da, da, da. She just went, yeah, of course. and it was such a beautiful moment. She very much is constantly growing, and she is new to the game, and she just has an open mind, and that's something that's so beautiful with working with a young woman from a very disadvantaged background.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's move. We're still on that. The time's ticking on us. So let's move forward in the process. Now we've got it roasted. We've got orders. Let's talk a little. You don't have to go into great detail about the shipping and how it works down to the nuances of it. But let's talk about how this product is being able to get shipped directly from Guatemala to the customers here in the States, and the reason why we're not shipping every day or the reason why our shipments are limited.
Right. So we are actually the first company in Guatemala, the second in Central America, to have the ability to deliver a perfectly roasted retail bag directly from our roastery in Guatemala, in origin, to your address, to anyone's address in the United States, without a just insane price tag. Most people don't know this, but there is no postal service in Guatemala. So the fact that we have managed this is pretty exciting. We are actually part of a pilot program that UPS is trying out. And I know UPS is trying out and FedEx. There's a couple logistical companies that have noticed that this is definitely a market that could potentially change things. This could bring balance to what has generally been a very consumer driven market, and kind of level the amount of power that producers have. So this logistical system could be a complete game changer in the industry. So basically what it is whenever we get your order, we mark it down. We do need to have a minimum of 32 kilos, or for us in the States, about 70 pounds, in order to get that price where it's lower. we can ship it if it's less than 70, but the price is higher, and it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to keep that value spread across the board. So we ensure that we have at least those 32 kilos, and then, but that doesn't have to be 32 kilos to one location. It can be 32 kilos to 70 different addresses in the United States. So it's door to door. We get your order. We express whenever our next shipment's going to be and let you know. And then we roast it right before your shipment, and you can expect it between our fastest order actually got from Guatemala to someone's house in Maine in 2 days. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, your shipping prices are better than my shipping prices to get something from one side of Houston to the other, and faster in some instances, which is just amazing. So that's really cool. So we started working together a couple weeks ago, and we're really lucky. I'm glad you reached out to me back in December, and we moved forward with it, because featuring small roasters just like Chica Bean is exactly why I launched Roasters Marketplace to begin with, just so we can help each other out and share each other's stories and share each other's products and enjoy coffee. If it wasn't 9 o'clock at night right now, I'd have some coffee in my coffee cup, but I'm drinking water. It's a little too late for the coffee. I want to go to sleep. But when where that's leading is, what are we doing? So we've got subscriptions for your products on our web store. They're significantly cheaper than a single bag order if you're just ordering. So we are encouraging our customers to get that subscription. We already have one subscription I know sold. Hopefully we'll get some more traction on that tonight from here, and get some more of your products to us in the States. And I look forward to working with y'all down the road. But what can we look for coming from Chica Bean over the next few months? Because y'all are in the middle of coffee harvest right now, right?
We are. And that's what you can look for. Actually, this year is really exciting because we were able to land some support in processing training. So going back with all of our women producers and talking about these little things that they can do that will significantly increase their quality, and also drawing a direct correlation from that to improved income that they'll be making.
Right.
This is the most amazing part about our value chain as a company, is that we can actually give feedback directly to our producers and get results. Most roasters don't have that power. So this relationship is really exciting. And so we have very high expectations about the quality of our beans that we're getting for this this harvest that's going on right now. We also are very excited to start doing a few experiments with the processing. So that would be the use of more experimental types of processing, maybe the addition of controlled yeasts, and some things that will definitely push the edge a little bit more. Our honeys, we're very excited about. Also, one of our producers last year actually won the 5th best natural in the region. So we're really excited to see what she has to offer this year. And then as far as with Evelyn, we've got Evelyn signed up for multiple trainings already. One starting in February with a ska roaster that's coming down to do a couple workshops. So we've got her signed up to do that. We're actually looking for possibilities of bringing her to Spawn, Portland with us. And so all of these experience sharing, everything just leads to better coffee that our consumers are going to be drinking, and our ability to expand the story.
That's awesome. So right now they're available on Roasters Marketplace, right? Roastersmarketplace.com, chicabean.com as well. Do you have any other outlets out there for customers to get it from?
Well, if you're in Ohio, we've got a couple stores in Ohio, or we've got a store in Ohio and got a couple coffee shops who are currently purchasing from us. So I know they make an incredible nitro with our honey, which nice. I don't think I'd ever believe that I was going to say, but I'm dying to go to Ohio to try it. And if you ever come visit us here in Guatemala, our doors are always open for visitors. You can learn how to roast yourself and do a little mini origin trip.
That's hopefully in the cards in the future for us to load up and take a vacation to Guatemala. Leave the babies at home with grandma, or I think grandma might be watching, so I might be in trouble for saying that. But she was actually.
Well, no, invite them as well. We've got kid-friendly facilities. So
awesome. All right, well, we're about that time. I said I was only going to take you for 30 minutes from 8:30 to 9 tonight. So Abby, I really appreciate it, and we'll do this again definitely. I plan on doing some round robins, even getting a couple roasters on here and us talking together and educating people on what exactly that honey process is. What does the best batch mean? We've got all your products up on our website. Subscription prices range from $15.95 up to $18.95 for subscriptions. And if you're a member, you don't pay shipping on those on our end. So it's some awesome deals. If we get orders need to be placed in with you by when, Abby? When do I have to? What's my cutoff?
Midnight Friday morning, or 12 a.m. Friday morning.
Okay, 12 a.m. Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Tell everybody there I said hi. I officially welcome you to the Roasters Marketplace family, and look forward to doing more business with you and sharing some coffee. So thank you.
Absolutely. We really look forward to sharing our coffee, our story, and continuing to grow with all of you.
And everybody that watched, we had about 9 viewers this whole time. So everybody who tuned in, that's awesome. Thank you very much for your support, and jump online, get some coffee from us. Have a nice night, Abby. Good night out there.
Have a good one. Feliz noche.